our presentation. In fact, each tributary has got a mini reservoir and regulator on both sides, and a third regulator on the river. Normally in a dam there will be only one regulator along the river. Here you will see there are 3 regulators on either side of the balancing water. And if you go to the other tributary, normally it is about 200 kilometers maximum, or it's there. Even if you take 200 kilometers, the holding capacity in between the tributaries, suppose you say there is a breach, but you have taken all the calculation how a breach can be controlled, not controlled, how it can be effectively remedied, taken a remedy taken. But assuming all that, there is a breach. Then there are 2 regulators within 200 kilometers. The capacity of that in between is not even equal to Madurai Dam. Madurai Dam is much bigger than that. Capacity, any capacity, anywhere, any breach in the center. You don't think 15,000 kilometers there is a breach, every water will come down. No. Now, what will happen is there is a breach in Madurai Dam. That will not happen here. It will be much less. Then you can study that, you will understand the problem. And Captain Dastur and mice, there are a lot of differences. I will give you a copy of it. Already I gave to them, our DG. There are nearly 16 points difference. I will give you a copy of that also. They are telling Nepal, our canal doesn't go to Bhutan. It is only Nepal's concern. And for that matter, I don't know, NW people forget about their proposal. Sorry to point out, because we have to point out. Your proposal also goes to Nepal. What will you do? In our proposal, the biggest advantage to them, they get a navigation canal. They don't have to spend money because a BOT, build, operate, and probably India will do it for them. Without spending, they get navigation canal, they get power generation, they get flood control and irrigation. And for that matter, I tell you, the third proposal was 360 meters above, but mine is 500 meters above. What's the reason? If you take it 360 meters, Nepal doesn't get much benefit. I want to take it at 600. But 600 meters means the length of the contour canal becomes more long. So I restricted 500 meters, where the Nepal also gets the maximum benefit. So here there is every possibility to get the consent of the Nepal for this proposal rather than for the NW. Friend was telling that pollution is a problem. Definitely. For that matter, in any project. And we always refer to our project to Tennis Valleys Authority project, TVA. There, they have done wonderful work in controlling the pollution. They are not allowing any polluted water to enter the system.
No, is it possible in India?
Yeah, it is possible. No, now if we say it is not possible. In Ganga it is not possible. But when you are creating a system, then it is possible. That's what I have done. In the existing system, I don't think it is possible. If you ask me, I don't think it is possible. You cannot change the people. But in a system you are creating, you can see that what the polluted water doesn't enter, and even if it comes, it can be allowed to go down below, will not enter this. So it is possible to control, similar to Tennis Valleys Authority. Right? And then, stagnation, again I was telling, I don't want to repeat, but still yes, there is that. There is no question of stagnation here. Because you are always getting the water, giving it out, just like a dam, or probably here you can always draw water in some other region. Suppose there is flood in Godavari, you can draw in Kaveri. So do not go on drawing water and filling down. And when there is flood in Kerala, the water is here, it's transmitted here. You fill up all the tanks. Don't keep the water full. And when they need water, you can take the water from here to Kerala. So it need not be kept always full and stagnant. And you are telling Bihar about the Bihar. Yes, the Bihar people are vehemently opposing the proposal. I don't know. But I have spoken to the next man in the Bihar. He's a former central minister and present MP also. I don't want to say the name, but they know the proposal, our proposal very well. And they are supporting it like that. But I have not met Lalaji or anybody. But if I meet Lalaji, as the other day was telling in the expert committee, Rajendra Singh was opposing that generally interlinking. Whether it's our proposal or anybody, we are against interlinking. Then I said, Rajendra Singh ji, if he sees my project, our proposal, then understand it, he will change his opinion. And chairman was also joking, telling, you will change people. No sir, because the changing people is by project, I don't change. So, here what happens in Bihar, Bihar people will get water from Brahmaputra. Understand that point. If the Brahmaputra water comes to Bihar, will they object? Okay, they will not object. When then they say surplus, we are not taking any surplus. No, what I mean is we are not touching the utilizable flow. There is a lot of difference between the utilizable flow and flood flow. Flood flow, you will take. Why? Otherwise it causes a flood. You take the water, hold it in the waterway and give it back to them also for 4 more months for irrigation. To the same state also, it is possible. That is calculated. So give it the same state, flood water, you hold the flood water, give it. And you can use in other places also. When there is flood, as I told you, Krishna can contribute to the system. Godavari. In other proposal, normally what we think, only Godavari can give water. But here Krishna also can give water. With the result, the surplus, only the flood surplus you are talking about, and taken back and given. And suppose you don't control the flood, what happens? There is damage. What we do, take the water, flood water. We call it as a water bank. Just like a bank operating for cash. So this is a water bank, we call it. So water, there is flood, you hold the water in the waterway and give it back when they need it. And suppose they want to keep the water for a long time, they have to pay for it. I mean, that is for you to decide. So this is acting like a water bank and holding the flood water and giving it back also. Right, sir.
No. I worked as a World Bank consultant in the year after retirement. When question some point was raised here in the objection raised by Orissa and Bihar in trapping the flood water in the Naval Canal. Actually, we are trapping the flood in the canal, but whatever we trap, we give credit to the concerned basin. So, it will be made something like bank account, depositing money by you or by me. Is a bank. We will have an account, separate account. If we got an example, we got our Vaihada, where the Periyar water and the Vaihi basin water is mixed in the Vaihi reservoir. All flood flows, normal flows, we stored it. Daily we take readings, we give credit to the each basin. So whenever the utilization recurs, we give the water from the credit we already stored. So this practice was started from the conservation reservoir. Before the conservation reservoir, the Vaihi basin people were objecting to this, similar to a point raised by the Orissa and Bihar. Now they get the water, flood water stored, and we maintain the account and give them whenever they want. So as part of Mr. Basic Kamara, so we will give the stored water to the Bihar or Orissa whenever they want, whenever they need. That is our program in our NAVAD proposal. And one more thing is, somebody was saying that upper people taking more water and lesser downstream people not getting water. It is a common problem in all the irrigation system. But in our system, in the World Bank project, they have suggested some methods to rectify all these things. Instead of giving partial supply continuously, give peak supply for limited period, limiting the quantity to whatever you can give for each supply. So we give full supply, so upper people also will get their share, downstream people also will get their share. That is how we operate the canal. Well, actually we have in our Vaihi canal, the Vaihi system in the upper region. there was some difficulty in like that. So we worked out the number of days. We worked out, first we started with 5 days and 2 days off. 4 days full supply, 3 days off. It was not sufficient, people, the rice were not satisfied. Then we will give it to 4.5 days and 2.5 days. 4.5 days full supply, 2.5 days off. Everybody is happy. So it is a management problem. So it does not attract any problem in regard to the Nawar Council proposal. Thank you.
The proposal by the Nawar Council proposal, this Ganga Kumari Waterways, in fact, I think it goes without saying that it makes a very tall claim, almost all about the 60,000 megawatt, annual impounding capacity, 15,000 TMC. Just if I convert that into the international standard of the BCM, it comes to about 425 BCM. And the total, the storage which so far which we have created is around 230 BCM. So this looks almost impracticable and totally hypothetical. This point has already been brought out. And other point I would like to mention about that complexity of the river basin. In fact, if I just talk about this has already been pointed by my friend Mr. KP Singh. Just the Ganga basin, this covering area of almost over 8,000 lakh square kilometer. It has 23 river basins, and the Kosi and all that, they are very mighty rivers, and just controlling the flood water from those rivers in this canal of this 130 meter or 20 meter width, and this is almost impracticable. Then this other point was made about that the seismicity and this Himalaya region being very fragile. That we have dam in those regions. Why not this canal? Here, the point is very simple. That siting a dam in George portion of just 100 meter, 200 meter is definitely altogether different from excavating canal 10 meter deep in the Himalaya region all along thousands of kilometers. So definitely that is definitely this excavating canal and all that. This is definitely going to add to the seismicity and all other problems. So these are some of the points. Plus other this presented the environmental and socio-economic issue. They will always be there, and as this Professor Kamra has pointed out, the facility of that project is yet to be established. So in fact, I fully endorse the view of Mr. Hilogoman that first that is to be established that this is whether technically viable or not. And again, I will request the chairman to, I think some of my colleagues, they are like me, they were raising hand earlier also. So I think they should be given time to develop more on the technical issue. Then of course the other things will follow. Thank you, chairman.
Nowadays, if you see the alignment of these canals, it is going upstream of some of the existing projects. For example, Krishna, it will be crossing upstream of Nagarjuna Sagar, Srishalam, etc. So what will happen to these projects? Are you going to abandon these projects? What are the adverse effects on the existing projects? And that has to be also taken into account as when you consider the cost part. Then another presentation on the morning that there will be water flowing from one basin to another and back to that basin also. An example given was that of Krishna. And the figures which was shown on the slide, I think that is absolutely wrong, because I am the one who collects the data for Krishna River. For last 10 years, no water is flowing to the sea. The dams haven't spilled at all. So there is no question of water from Krishna going back to Godavari. It may happen once in 10 years when there is a big flood in Krishna, and at that time Godavari will also in floods. So question of water from Kaveri or Pennar or Krishna going back to north, that doesn't exist at all.
Sir, I am not going into the topics that have been already covered. I only focus one important point of the project and make out a case in favor of it, subject to, of course, technical feasibility and other issues. At the outset, I would like to mention a word about Professor Kamraj. He has done a lot to this project. Sacrifice from past 8 months to 8 years, spending huge amount of money, to this noble cause. In fact, two VIPs, one VIP at All India level, one VIP at Tamil Nadu level, after speaking to Comrade told me, these are the words, please bear in mind. Mr. Kamraj is a sincere man, a hard worker. God should repay for his hard work and sincerity. This is told not by myself, but a very big man in Tamil Nadu and a very big man in Delhi. They hold very important offices. I cannot quote their name because their positions are very, very delicate. They have seen the project, they have seen this video cassette also, and then told these words. So this is only a word about Mr. Kamraj. Now I will come to the main point. As a professor of economics, I would like to focus only the economic feasibility of the project. I have supplied the paper to Mr. Kamraj entitled The Economy of India and the National Waterways Project. Under this caption, I have prepared a write-up running to about 5 pages with all details. I am not going to stress all the details. I am going to only stress 1 or 2 points to impress upon you that the project is feasible, of course subject to technical clarifications. One thing incidentally I would like to remark is that most of the technical flaws or what we call doubts raised here were effectively and efficiently clarified by Professor Kamraj, Mr. Roopchandji and Mr. Krishnaswamy. These 3 persons. Of course others might have added, but these 3 persons have given wonderful clarifications. I as a layman in engineering could appreciate these points, particularly flood control explained by Mr. Krishnaswamy in the morning. Well sir, now my economics point I will come to it. Why this project is feasible? This project is supposed to cost about 5.3 lakh crores, say 6 crores by the time it is implemented. And what is the revenue you are going to get? 1 lakh per year. Assuming you pay within 6 years the principal part, another 2 years debt servicing, within 8 years the project will be self-repaying, self-financing. This is a scheme which is viable because within 8 years you can repay the investment and its liability will come to zero. Apart from that, every year what is happening is 60,000 crores of rupees you will be saving in terms of oil, 20,000 crores of rupees flood. Apart from other things which are not directly quantified, well, about 1 lakh crores you are directly getting benefit. Then as a finance minister, Mr. Chidambaramji will appreciate very much because the investment of rupees 6 lakhs crores in the project will generate so much income, employment, which promotes savings and investment. Every dose of investment has got multiplier effect. So much so, it creates further employment, further income, further savings, and the chain goes on. So much so, every dose of investment will lead to what is called ballooning the economy. The economy will keep on expanding. And the power of investment is so great, sir. Lord Keynes, in his savings investment theory, based effective demand as the concept. This effective demand is going to be created by the project that is going to be implemented by Mr. Kamraj. Every economy, entire economy is based on this effective demand. Every level of investment, every rupee invested is going to create demand. Because 1 rupee earned will be spent or saved. Saved is, what is saved is further invested. That leads to again employment. This is not classroom economics, this is practical economics. Therefore, this project has got what is called, the expansionary effect on the economy. Because huge amount, it is not a small amount. And this huge amount, Mr. Kamraj advocates, is not put by the government. It is by boot system by which, NRIs and others will participate and invest money. Therefore, sir, this project is viable. Further, what happens to the government finances? Government without spending much will get money. How? When the level of income rises, income tax is paid. When the income tax is paid, well, government gets the revenue. when the employment increases, consumption increases. When consumption increases, well, goods and services will have to be separate. On that, excise duty, sales tax, service tax, most of taxes, well, will lead to income to the government. Only these things have to be calculated. These things have to be precisely calculated. As a rough sketch, I am going to tell you the impact of revenue on the government. Then expenditure, I tell you. Now, why India is unable to compete? Because ours is a high-cost economy. By this National Waterways project, you are going to convert this high-cost economy into a low-cost economy. In fact, when I was a student, my revered teacher, Professor Clement, is there. His colleague, Professor D'Souza, was telling, India will not be able to compete with any country because you have to get coal from far-off place and iron. Well, in this cost transport, the cost of production will be very high, and that is because transport cost is very high. If we can reduce this transport cost, he said in those days, 40 years ago, that the cost of production can be reduced and India will be able to compete with other countries. England, he gave us an example. Now, if National Waterways, if you are going to convert the cost of production lesser by cheaper transport, India will become a low-cost economy from a high-cost economy. That will be a remedy for all our problems. Let there be WTO, let there be CAP, let there be anything damn nonsense where we can face, because we are converting the economy into a low-cost economy. Our competitiveness increases. Once the competitiveness increases, we can stand the international competition. These are some of the points, well, which make the project viable. I have listed about 20 points, 20 to 25 points, which focus the economic feasibility of National Waterways project for paucity of time, and because still there are many others to speak to you, I am not going to waste your time. One small appeal to Mr. Jaishiran, who represents the department here as head of the National Waterways Commission. Whatever small lapses are there in the project, there can be. Kamaraj is not God, he is man like us. If there are any mistakes, we can rectify them. Even when Saddam thought of KRS Dam, he was heckled like anything. When this VASL plant was supposed to be started, then it was called Bhadravati Iron and Steel Plant. I said, we are not going to do. Saddam resigned. Then he was brought back from Bombay and the project was implemented. So every project will be opposed in the beginning stage. Every project will be having some mistakes or the other. To err is human. Therefore, but those errors can be corrected. It is possible to correct them. Only thing is, we must make a mind to do. In this context, I would like to give you a small example. My president was Honorable Minister for Food and Civil Supplies in Government of Karnataka. One genuine lady came for help. He called a meeting of the officers. 20 officers there. They listed 45 to 50 shortfalls in the scheme and said, sir, it is not possible. Then he said, Mister, I am telling you as the minister, you see this proposal is converted in reality and come with results, don't come with queries. He shouted at them. Next year, they answer all the problems, came with the positive thing and told sir this thing. So what is required to execute this project is, well, political will and bulldozing effect, which will see that the project is implemented. I do not find fault with officers or anybody for that matter to point out mistakes. It is their right. It is their duty they are doing. You will take them in good spirit and answer those points and make the project worthwhile one, a reality one, and thereby solve the pressing problems of our country. Sir, if this project is going to generate 3 to 5% of GDP, what a big relief will it be. Today our Mantek Singh ji, one of my good friend, he is so much panicky. He says, 8% post you are told, you can't achieve, it will be 6%, what to do? So then I told, sir, be aggressive, be optimistic, don't worry. If it is going to even 4%, nobody will hang you. Things are going like that, what to do? Let us be optimistic and say, we are going to achieve 8% growth rate. And if it is not possible, tell the people these are the things which made us to do. Sincerity is important. Then Mr. Kamaraj, I took him to Mr. Rajshekaran, Honorable Minister of State for Planning. We explained this project. He was convinced. He said he would do his little bit. Of course, other VIPs also we have met as the Parliamentary Affairs Secretary. I have got some contacts with higher ups. So I have discussed this project with them. I told them there may be some short lapses that they need to be rectified, but regarding sincerity, technical competence, and national commitment, Mr. Kamraj is Mr. K. Kamraj is AC Kamraj, and that great man is K. Kamraj. Well, therefore, this project will take off. Whatever shortfalls it may have, I wish him all the best. I also thank Mr. Vasist for having given me this opportunity. I thank you for having given me the patient hearing. One appeal to Mr. Jeshil, and again I would like to repeat, please see, sir, bestow your power and authority to take up the feasibility studies and the DPR. After that, if the project is not viable, go ahead, I don't mind. But when you want to come to a conclusion, please go with facts and figures. Let us not go with small observations, because observations will be there on all the projects, both plus and minus. I don't say some people who support the project may exaggerate, some people who oppose the project may do it on their side also. There are things, because human element is human element. But if you want to speak anything, please go with DPR, detailed project report, and feasibility report. Immediately I request you to take up with the Government of India to see that the DPR or feasibility report is taken up. If any assistance is required from my side, you can command me. I will come and assist you to see that the DPR work or feasibility work is launched. With these things, I thank you very much. I am immensely pleased to be here today in the temple town and share good thoughts in the name of Goddess Meenakshi, so that prosperity will shower on all of us and our entire country. Thank you very much.
Madurai has got a lot of heritage in history and in politics. That is why I think you selected a place, Madurai, to conduct such a technical workshop. Because why I am telling, you might have got previously with some other ideas, you have come here, and now you are going to Delhi or other places with positive thinking. Why I stress again? Because you have lot of doubts. When Professor A.C. Kamraj presented the project in Delhi, some 2 days, you have raised a lot of questions, some 40 questions. He brought it here and discussed with us, and we have supplemented. Now, you have got some views, different views. Definitely, you must have some positive thinking. Like Professor Santamurthy was telling, I want to supplement one more. In Tamil Nadu, former Chief Minister, Mr. Kamaraj, gone to various cities, asking the people any problem. Yes, they will give, so on, one and two or two problems. Immediately he will refer to officers, accompanying. Sir, that is not possible. Immediately Kamaraj was telling, you are not here to tell, it's not possible. Please have your mind to do things which is very essential to public. At the same view, I am also requesting all the dignitaries here to have an open mind about this Nawad Council proposals of interlinking of rivers with positive thinking. Whatever problems, we are all technocrats. Nothing is impossible in the world if you have a mind to do it. So, this proposals is definitely viable. Here and there are maybe shortcomings. That can be sorted out. And Mr. Kamaraji said, I wanted to tell something. He is spending money like anything in this social project. In fact, I do not know whether the family members are permitting them to spend money like this. No family member will permit. I have to thank the Mrs. permitting to go here and there, here and there, throughout it, never bothered about his family member. For which I have to thank his Mrs. Kamaraj also and the sons of Mrs. Kamaraj. Because not only spending time, spending money like anything. So, we have done something, and so many able chief engineers, retired chief engineers, and so many retired super engineers, joint chief engineers, and myself. For the past 4 years, we are doing hard work to implement this viable project. And these are all certain limits. We have got limitation of fund. So on his behalf and on the NABARD Council members, I request you recommend to the government to take up a feasible studies for which you try to recommend to grant some amount to take up feasibility studies. Even computer simulation, we have to spend a lot from our own. We are all retired people. We are getting pension. Some amount we are spending, even to and fro. I am coming from 15 kilometers, for which I have to spend from my pension. So how it is possible? So you have to recommend such a thing is going on in Madurai. People are doing willingly, and we are also spending some amount. But to take up a feasibility studies, you have to recommend to the higher authorities. This also we will take up. We don't say any other project should not be. This project also take up for a study purpose. Then we will come to a conclusion whether it is possible, technically viable, economically, technically feasible, economically viable. Unless otherwise, take up a study, how it is we can decide. So it is my humble request, you please recommend to the higher authorities to grant some amount and for technical studies, further studies, in which we cannot go here and there. And also I request on behalf of the NABARD Council member, kindly provide a space in Delhi. We will sit there and do some studies. That also consider our request. Then I have got, because Professor Clinton also referred, I want to have raise 2 questions, general questions. Anybody can answer. Political leaders are raising their voice for nationalization of rivers. Is there any proposal in the government? One of my doubts and question. And our Professor Kamala, Chairman of our Council, and some legal experts are of the opinion that as per our Constitution itself, it is possible for interlinking of rivers without nationalization of rivers. Is it possible? Do you have any? Thank you, sir.
So I would like to react on the environmental issues that were raised by some of the members. I am in Vaidyanathan, former joint chief in the PWD, associated with this NABARD Council. I was also a consultant in NAPCOS for 2 years for real-time flood forecasting project. And also recently I have done microbial environmental status in one of the river basins in southern part of Madurai. See, actually, the previous speaker was mentioning that water hazard is there in all dams or irrigation regulators. But it's not a new phenomenon. Because if you see the south, even without water, we are having water hazard, then IPMia, and all these dense growth you can see in canal banks, irrigation tanks. And if you see the status of our Tamil Nadu is mostly studded with a lot of irrigation tanks created by native villagers or rulers just to have irrigation and also maintain the ecosystem with the low rainfall. And because of acute water scarcity in the recent years, there is dense growth everywhere. If you travel on the highways or rails or even by tanks or interior villages, this problem is menaced. We see a lot of thick bushes and dense growth everywhere. So the agriculture department, or to say even these fisheries, they have done some novel methods. Even though we have many methods, this mechanical method or chemical method, they say these are all not very reliable. So now they have this biological method, allowing weevils or even different kind of fish, and they are tried in some of the places in the fisheries also. So that can be tried, and that is not the major issue for as far as this project conceived by Professor Kamaraj. Another thing is these whole waterways will become a drainage carrier. See, we are without water, we can see all channels, they are drainage carriers already. If you see one of the reservoirs in the nearby Madurai, just about 50 kilometers from here, that was opened by our former Chief Minister M.G. Ramachandran. It is called the Kulur Sandhi Reservoir. It is really pathetic. If you see some 4 kilometer stretch of that reservoir, all the people are using that river as for garbage disposal, sewage discharge, and so many other things. So luckily that river was so dry, it is not perennial. Luckily some 2 months back received water, and that water enabled them to flush everything to the entire from the stretch of the river itself. So water is also required to maintain the ecosystem itself, ecobalance. That's why Mr. Nelson Mandela, the South African leader, was releasing the report on dams and development in London on November 26, 2000, remarked, it is one thing to find fault with the existing system. It is more difficult task to replace it with any approach that is better. Similarly, the concept of sustainable development, that was actually a milestone in the United Nations Conference on Environmental Development, known as S Summit in Brazil in June 1992. They defined the sustainable development because Mr. Rangoon was telling, we have come here only to discuss technical issues. Technical issues alone are not enough to have a comprehensive study of this, any project. So he says, what is sustainable development? Sustainable development is I got a slide, can I show the slide? Okay, anyway, I'll bring that. He's not here. Only portion of the flood water is diverted. This water will definitely help to maintain the ecosystem itself, meet the requirements of the people itself. So when we look at the conservation and the better use of water, we are looking at the total environment and the ecosystem that keep the whole country and humanity alive. So water is the elixir of life. The civilization started in many banks of the river, Nile, Egypt, Mesopotamia, so on and so forth. And one more thing is, even these socio-economic issues.
Mr. Chairman and all experts from all over the country and members of NABARD Council, I take this opportunity as a social scientist to give my views on the project called NABARD. I am Captain Raja, Director and founder of Madurai Institute of Social Sciences in Madurai. And about my present data, I am not here to say. As a social scientist, I would also share my views. It is a welcoming feature of Government of India to organize a technical workshop to identify and discuss the different alternatives in interlinking of rivers. As one of the members of NABARD Council and also social scientist, I foresee the future of our country. Morning, the chairman, Mr. Jayasheelan, sharing the session, and during my lunch break, I happened to discuss with him and I raised a question. Sir, so many experts, 20 years, we are thinking and finding some solutions to solve the national common problem of this great country. Why we are not able to do? All the experts are here. I could see and hear and understand the real genius and also experts' ideas since morning, and also met with so many people in different places. His answer was, for all these things, the problem is sociological problem. Because you find if you want to construct a canal, there the problem is people come and stop it. The similar views we find. But here what I could see since morning, among the experts, sharing the views and also the differences, we enjoyed very much. But my point is, as a social scientist, how we are coming to a common solution for this national problem. The National Waterways project was formed in Madurai under the leadership of Mr. Kamaraj, engineer, and there are so many hundreds of experts, that is, not only from among engineers, from different walks of life are there. For example, Kishushani, Pandy, and these are experts from Madras and other places. And we have been encouraged by public, central public here also, to develop this project. That is why here we understand when we discussed about this matter with our President of India, he fully agreed and accepted and also encouraged the Nawar project, but it should come through proper way, he said. The states are fighting, minds are set. After independence, each state takes their kind of view. We see many conflicts between states in sharing water. National integration is the prime one, and also all our efforts should strengthen the unity of the country. Once the canal system, the Nawar system is established, the unity will also be established throughout the country. Nobody can shake it. Any political party, any kind of people cannot do anything. That kind of major project we have to do it.
After listening to the experts, I am fully convinced they have already made up their mind to implement this program. Though there are differences of opinion, these are all very minor. Nitur in adversum. That means advance in spite of difficulties. Even 1,000 miles journey must begin with one step forward. If we all cooperate together, I am sure this will become a reality. Labor omnia vincit. That is, labor conquers everything. We have talked about the social aspect, environmental aspect, and technical aspect. As a student of politics, I request the honorable members who are very close to the government to suggest my humble view in person so that these problems can be solved without much fuss. Let us hope this particular seminar in the auspicious town of Goddess Meenakshi and my good friend Mr. Kamaraj, who has been instrumental in this sort of schemes, all of us join together and see to that we succeed. We will definitely succeed. There is no failure. Sweat and smile. Thank you very much.
Somebody pointed out the independent group's observation. It's from there. And in fact, it was only they who suggested us to go in for computer simulation. Because of their suggestion only, we went for computer simulation in the Indian Institute of Science, spending our own money. It is quite a good sum for us, even for doing for one stretch. So they have done it, and we also given the details to our DG. So because only on their suggestion we did it, not otherwise. And KP Gupta was also there when they suggested it. That's a different matter, that's not, we will not involve him. And then Mr. S.K. Shindra was telling that to create 430 BCM capacity, holding capacity, it is very huge. Of course, it's only 1/3 of it we need. but total 430 BCM. Well, in states, they had 6 times the holding capacity for the water available. So if they have a very bad drought, still they can manage for a year or 2. That's possible for them. But I don't say we have to create 6 times the availability. As he himself pointed out, we have already utilized 250 BCM of the 690 BCM. I am telling in BCM. It's a million hectometer cube. So we already used nearly 250 BCM out of 690 BCM.
But not utilized,
So-
that is storage created.
Yeah.
You utilize much more.
No, it is utilized, sir. That is what utilized flow is being
213 is the storage created. Storage
It is
created.
our total availability of flow. That the availability of water, we have storage created storage for so much to hold. Yeah, that's right. And here we are planning to have a holding capacity total 430 BC. That is the water required. How we are planning, why we are planning is that the water required for our food production by 2050. Suppose you are not creating this capacity, then before 2050 you have to venture on a new project, another project, and complete it before 2050. Do you think it is possible? Because we have been working on this project interlinking for the 40 years. We have been contemplating. And we have not come to any conclusion. We couldn't. We are still doing the feasibility study, things like that. So our planning is to have the food production, 500 million tons of food production we need by 2050. We're already 200 million tons. We need another 300 million tons. So our plan is to have the 500 million tons. That is the requirement, normal requirement. Maybe it's a deficit, if you are having a deficit requirement, something less than what possible. But if we take the current requirement as the international standard, even 500 tons, that is the capacity we have to create. So it is not a very big dream or very big idea, a fancy idea we are thinking. Then, somebody has pointed out the flood water. If you are using all the flood water, what will happen? No, we are not using all the flood water. Though our project is a mega project, consume mega as a mega project, we use only 30% of the flood water. Still 70% of the flood water goes to sea as waste. And we don't need it. Because this 30% will be able to get to our needs. So that is how this has been planned. And our friend Mr. Jodi, Chief in Hyderabad, he was telling about the flow chart of Krishna. He says he has been observing data for the last 10 years. And he commented, it's wrong.
40 years.
Okay, 40 years. I'm sorry to hear such words. Because what you have given is for 90 years, not even 40 years. And that has been provided by the authority. It's not mine. That has been provided. So that has been provided by the authorities, and that has been taken into consideration. That is what is shown here. So if you want to verify, please verify it, sir. It is there already with you also. You can verify. But please don't comment casually. It's wrong. And please, because we are all on the same boat, trying to do something for the country. It's not that you or mine or anything. We are all thinking of something good for the country. That's why we are taking the data and things that are collecting the data. So, if there is some mistake, please point out, we'll try to correct it. But data given by the authorities, and that has only been converted and it is shown there. And the existing system, we have already explained, no existing system will be disturbed. Rather, they will be stabilized. And again, let me tell you, the 500 TMC capacity has been worked out, and we will give the details. If you have any doubt, we are ready to give the details. You can also work out, we have given the section, everything, you can work out. And if you have a doubt, we will give you all the details. And everything, even the estimate and all, to our knowledge, we are doing the best, giving R and R, everything. So, that way, what we have presented is only a preliminary project. It's not final. We have not done any feasibility study. It's only pre-feasibility study we have done, as you all know. And it is such a big task for us. It's a big mammoth task for us, as far as we are concerned. We are only, as Chakramoorthy was pointing, we are spreading our own money, pocket money, whatever is possible. That's all. And so, we have done a lot of work. Collecting data, going and seeing the field studies, getting from states, the contour maps, things like that. All that we have been doing out of national interest. So, these things, we have got the studies, and you try to supplement, and we needed to go for feasibility study. Unless there is a feasibility study, nothing can be proved. It's right. So now, you may ask so many questions. I may be able to answer most of the questions, okay, but not all your questions. Because I may not be having all the data with me. So, for this only, we need further studies also. This is a very good forum, they have come, and a very good interaction. It's like a parliament, but nothing personal, it's anybody. You don't have anything personal, I don't have anything personal. After all, we are working for the nation. And a different side. So, that way, now nobody is against anybody. We had a very good discussion, very hot discussion, direct discussion, commenting. Jyoti comment, no, it's wrong. It's nothing wrong. In Delhi, it's also nothing wrong, because he feels that way, but we can verify. So, we had a heated discussion. All this, with a good intention, something must come through, and that too very fast. Some viable project we must have, and that too very fast, that should be executed, so that the country's needs are met quickly. With these words, I close. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Kaka. Now for the last 3 hours we have been discussing this technical and various other, and it can be dredged, it can be developed into industry. If you want to understand the silt problem, kindly go and see the rivers of Bihar and West Bengal. Where the entire rivers are silted, and the rivers are overflowing because the entire beds are silted now. The rivers are not flowing at all. That's the condition of river. What to talk of canals now. The silt problem is not that easy. All this perhaps will need a lot more study before we can comment on anything. So, thank you very much. I will conclude with this technical session. Please.
Well, we had a very interesting day. One difference that I found, I was in a similar gathering yesterday, and I have been sitting through the whole day today. One difference is no one dozed off. Yesterday I had to keep them awake by telling them some jokes, and so that makes all the difference. How interesting is the subject and how important is the subject. And see, normally in the TV you say what you call as Pattimandram. I didn't feel that way. Just one side presenting what they have and the other side presenting something else. That reminds me of this recent discussions that are going on with Pakistan, because they have asked for appointing a neutral expert. So to be prepared to face them, we have formed 3 groups. One is our views, and the other group will take as if Pakistan's views. Our own people will take what Pakistan will say and how we should be able to face them. When a neutral expert is appointed, then of course, as usual, myself and secretary, we are the apex body to decide how we should go. I'm sure it's not like that here, and of course, in fact, if it is like that, it is, I'm sure Professor Kamaraj will welcome. See, by that he gets to know what are the things that he has to look into even more in detail, and as he requested, all the questions raised, he said they are very relevant and they would like to go further into details of it. So you can just give it to him in writing. He has made a request and that can be passed on. But then before I am asked to conduct this session with these few opening remarks, I think if any one of you want to, because you are like panelists, and if any maximum two, just in 2 minutes, if you want to summarize the, not raising the issues, but what you have done about this from the audience, and then the panelists, maybe you can just say something. That way the total time is 5 minutes.
I am very happy that we had the lively discussion. I cannot say it was a detailed discussion because many of the technical issues which were raised were not discussed in a more in-depth, Therefore, the technical issues are very serious issues. We cannot brush aside, when I say that the breach will be a big problem, we cannot brush aside, no, engineering will take care of that. It is not so simple like that. Even as our member pointed out, siltation is not a simple technical issue to be simply brushed aside. Many of the technical issues I feel were brushed aside. Therefore, we need, I feel, after listening to all the presentations and the discussions, I somehow feel further in-depth study would be needed. Whatever study was carried out by the council, I congratulate them with the limited resources they have done. But further studies may be required if you want to take any further decision on this. We cannot take a decision just by one day seminar here and go ahead with the feasibility as they were requesting a feasibility study on their project. That's my view after the deliberations and the two sessions in the morning and afternoon. And we should also take it as a positive thing that a lot of issues were raised by the Central Water Commission and NWD officers and others also. We take it as positively and think over now and then try to positively approach your project and try to improve the project. First of all, I would like to repeat again. First of all, let us not forget about Dastur's plan. It is very similar to Dastur's plan. Dastur's plan was rejected by 2 technical committees. Therefore, we are proposing a similar project. You should be doubly sure that whatever objections were raised on Dastur's plan were taken care of in this project. That is the first thing, basic thing we should do first. Then only go in for the further any refinement or anything. Therefore, first you should overcome what are the objections raised on Dastur's plan. Right? Answer them first. First, recognize that your concept is very similar to Captain Dastur's concept with some modifications.
And in fact, since the sincerity of Professor Kamaraj, in fact, I don't know, I myself was telling someone he is working so hard, he is running up and down to achieve this. And incidentally, after that only someone was mentioning about his sincerity in his approach. I really am grateful to you and we really appreciate what you are doing and your team of engineers. And there is a think tank here, and let us put our minds together, whether it is a government and with the state's consultation, let's try to go ahead. That would be my remarks on this as a concluding remark. So thank you very much.
Respected Chairman CWC, respected Member WBNB CWC, respected Director General National Water Development Agency, senior officers from Central Water Commission, Ministry of Water Resources, National Water Development Agency, Professor CE Kamaraj, and members of the Nawab Council, colleagues and friends. A month ago, when I received an instruction from the Director General to proceed to Madurai and explore the possibility of conducting a workshop there. I was very much delighted because the senior officers coming to a place under my jurisdiction. But that was short-lived. When I came to Madurai, I found that there was only one Indian Airlines flight operating to Madurai, and I was sure that senior officers may not make it possible to come to Madurai because 3 days will have to be spent for attending this workshop. But in spite of that, Chairman CWC could make it convenient to come to this workshop and lead the proceedings and the deliberations during the whole day. We are grateful to you, sir. Please accept our sincere thanks. I would like to thank Mr. M.S. Gupta from Ministry of Water Resources, who made a presentation on IT to come over here and be with us during the workshop. Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to thank Mr. N.A. Pandy, Chief Engineer at Waterways and NWDA. He has worked a lot for this workshop, and as well as he has given all whatever I needed from the headquarters, he has given to me, extended it to me at the right time. Thank you very much, sir. I would like to thank Professor C. Kamaraj for his presentation of his proposals and all the members of the Nawab Council who has participated in the deliberations and presented their views. Thank you all. I would like to thank everybody once again. Thank you very much.